Hello, this is Brian McHenry with McHenry Software. This is a quick run through of some of the additional features of our msmac3D, medit3D graphics version 2. What you're seeing right here is my first project, which is a project included with the software when you get it. And it demonstrates a number of the new additional features that you can use to make your video more realistic and also add additional features. What we're using in here is we have the simple intersection impact between two vehicles, the gray and the green vehicle. But then we also have three different types of vehicles. We have a couple of animated vehicles, which are the van and the Mustang. But then we also have what's called an animulated vehicle. That's one where you actually can put in steering and braking, and we may do something on that in this demo to show you that. We also have trees. We just put a couple in, but you can put more in bushes, and you can put houses in. It's a simple matter of just selecting up here in the upper right the add other model. Let's go ahead and hit pause here for a second. See, we have an add other model. And in there you go and you can browse either our M3D type binary models, or in the objects directory or anywhere else where you have it, you can go and look at any DXF models. And we have like a house, and we'll have probably quite a bit more soon. There's street lamps, office building, oak tree. We're going to add more, and or if you have any DXF files, they will load. You just have to save them as a DXF CAD file, ASCII CAD file. Um, so again, looking at this, the other options that we have in there, first is just the two vehicle impact, the rollover, the ability to interact with any terrain that you bring in, whether it's a cloud file. We all can bring in XYZ cloud files and E57 cloud files, and or just drape on your DXF file terrain, or you can actually manually make your terrain. There's a bunch of other demos that have that, and we'll be updating those demos because we've added additional enhancements, etc. Let's just look at a couple other things we have here now. One, when you click on a vehicle, let's just say that right now we're on vehicle 1, or we could click on vehicle 2. It brings up a menu over here to the right, which talks about vehicle, simulated vehicle, and it has where you can change dimensions, you can change the positions, you can change the model, you can change the colors of the model, change the nodes and how close or far away those nodes are, and then also the tire marks. Down here for the individual display, if we go over here and we turn on this individual display, you can see what the nodes look like, and you can have it with just the nodes or with the vehicle and nodes. And then deform nodes, we're just working on that, but that's going to be tied in so that the DXF will actually deform as it's rolling. We're going to have those nodes being moving. How you change the increment of the nodes is you click on the structural nodes, and right now it's at a foot. We could make it at a foot. We recommend sometimes you have a little cruder at start, and because you want to get your speeds, etc., correct first, and then you start working with the object. So now we have it at 1. We say yes, we want to create a new set, and you notice how it now changed that to the nodes that are further apart. The specs are for if you have a project that's similar to another project you have, or one of our demo projects, we have a clone in new name where it copies everything and renames it for you. But then you can go in and change the vehicles. Like here, we click on this vehicle and we could change either from our specs database, you pick a vehicle that you want to use, or you can manually put in some of these inputs. It's all explained in the input manuals, etc. You also then can go down here and change the actual model. Once you change the specs, you want to change the model. And we have an ability to add models very quickly. We're running through these very fast. You probably can't see them all, and a lot of these have to be updated, better pictures up there. And but any you need, you just go onto 3D CAD browser and then let us know which one you'd like us to add, and we can add it. Changing the color is simple. You just gives you the top 6 colors, and you just mainly pick one. Let's just say we wanted to change this one to see that it's in a purple kind of color now. Again, now we're showing the nodes, so we're going to turn those nodes off and just show the vehicle. And then when you don't click away from the car, you see that it has. So now we have a different color car. The tire marks can also be easily changed for what color. Recall that last vehicle we had gray, so we had the tire marks gray. If you click on the vehicle, there's this tire mark option here. And you see you can have it show it as dashed or double colored. You can have it show only skid or roll or both. And then you can either have each individual tire a different color, or you can have each individual tire the same color. We're going to go ahead and make each one different. The main reason this, if you have some evidence that you're trying to match, then this way you see that each tire, now if we go up overhead a little, and up here you notice this can be removed, obviously for the full view, then just left clicking brings that up for the pan view tilt, and then saving different views. But you see now we have different colors for each. Now we could also make it so it's only skid, and so only skid would be showing. And then you can only show the front or the rear, or both. So it's a quick way to be able to match evidence. If you have an overhead picture or a cloud scan file picture, this allows you to turn on and off and match the items. Now the other option that we mentioned in here is we have two options up here, the add model and then the add animated vehicle. The add model is where, like, this house was added, an office was added, a couple trees were added, and you just simply go click on that, and the default is to go to the models 3D if you want to add a car, but then you can also go to objects 3D and add like a DXF. Shows you those. Once we're going to have it so they can save the DXFs as a binary so that it loads faster, but it also then you can set different positions. So let's go ahead and go to the overhead. We zoom out. You see that in the overhead, this is our simple model. We have a position at the first position and then the second position. Let's move it so you can see it. So you can change those positions. This is for animation. You can put in multiple positions. You can insert others. And so it's a quick way to create perhaps a witness vehicle or something in the scene. See how now it moves per your instructions. I did the same thing on this green van. We have go from -172 to 172, and you set your frame number, frame 3 to frame 233. Now the other vehicle that we have here is just for an example, is the animulated, and that's where it actually uses a simulation to interact with the terrain. In this particular example, we haven't really had it see much terrain, but you see that it has you click on it, and there's this path where you set segments. And instead of putting frame numbers, you put duration. And so it tries to match the end positions and or intermediate positions you have by simulating. You can also in here add steering and add braking. We'll probably, in an example of the animulated that we'll be adding soon, we'll be adding that. Another additional option we have now is the scenario tweak switch input files. The purpose of this is that you now can go ahead and make changes and save with notes that you add, and or you can save with different names, numbers, etc. And it shows you what the run looks like, a preview image, and you can archive it, you can delete it, but this is a lot of times, many of you know that you have tweaks when you're running things or you want to show multiple scenarios. This way you can simply add scenarios, etc. Also, for if you're using point cloud files, which can be rather large and take a while to load, we also have the ability now to go ahead and make changes, detailed changes, in addition to the change that we have over here with again, you click on a vehicle and you can click to change its positions, its orientation, and its speed. You can also go here and change anything on the vehicle for the given scenario that you're doing. Also has an auto run, which I'll take out of there because we don't want to run it right now. But because this doesn't have much in it, we could go back to the grid that many of you are familiar with if you've used our software before, because this loads very fast when you go back, and you can make changes, and then you come back into here and you can then make changes. Polygon friction zones, we also have that where you can add them in as many points as you want and as many friction zones as you want. And then another enhancement we have now is when you do a tracking camera, that's where you want to follow a vehicle here. I'm tracking on one vehicle here. But you notice down here on the bottom now we've added the ability to see where are the set points for your tracking camera, and you can adjust those or modify those per how you want to do it. So again, we click on tracking view, and you will know if tracking view is on, this is on down here. When you turn tracking view off, you see that comes off. But then you can walk through and you can go previous, previous. So you can set each of these. If you want to change it, modify it, in other words, you could zoom this and then you say set that, update it. And let's just say we wanted to make this more like this. We can update that. See, there's a little button here. So now when you play it, it's slightly different. One of the key features now is that sometimes when you load up, you forget that you are in tracking, but when it comes in with tracking, if you see this on the bottom, then you know that it's in tracking view, and so you want to just go ahead, turn that tracking view off to then use the preset ones that you can manually change any way you want, and or use the overhead, etc. We also have position cameras where you can do a fixed position camera. If you know where someone was observing, and then you can use tracking view with that. So you edit the camera position and angle. That's a summary of some of the new features we have. We will be posting up some additional videos in the near future, and or please contact us for a WebEx demonstration video. We'd be pleased to show you some more details of these. Thank you for your time.